They lived on the inside, behind the mansion gates, with the private Michael Jackson.
Some friends and people have asked me whether it was true that Michael's nose was falling off.
They saw him write songs on his bed sheets and refused to change them until he had a hit.
He asked me to bring the champ, especially Max, who seems to be his favorite, to his bedroom. And usually Max stays there all night, sleep with him.
They served him food he named after Disney characters. Michael's trusted housekeeper Faye and valet Mark talk exclusively about his shrine to himself.
He loves to bring his guests there first when they come to the ranch.
His famous visitors.
I thought she would be somebody who would look and act like a prima donna, but on the contrary, she's a very down-to-earth woman.
And why LaToya can never come over. Michael, behind closed doors. Michael Jackson's secret home and private life exposed for the first time. His closest friends, the superstars, and the super young. Our Doug Bruckner has more.
Just throws his underwear and whatever he wears, and he loves that, and the towels, and I think he's pretty much acting like a kid.
Welcome to Neverland, the most opulent pleasure dome in America, a surreal emerald in the midst of dry California scrub, the place where Michael Jackson lives out all his private fantasies. Mark and Faye Quindoy were Michael Jackson's manager and chef for 2 years here, and they saw things they'll never forget. From weird personal habits to the biggest names in show business.
I'd line up the housekeepers with their nice uniforms and meet them by the front door. And, of course, the front gate would warn me that the guests are driving in. And we'd welcome them like Infancy Island.
And what a fantasy island. The massive estate with 56 acres of manicured gardens, an amusement park, a building just for his toys and games.
You'll have television sets around the spa, which are hidden in the rocks. With a push of a button, the rocks come out, and the VCR and the TV sets come out.
A full-sized movie theater stocked with Michael Jackson brand candies, where he keeps the original E.T., a room devoted to child star Shirley Temple, and another shrine to himself.
I have all the tour jackets there in showcases. I have all his tour jewelry. He loves to bring his guests there first when they come to the ranch.
There's even a cowboy and Indian village and a pirate ship in his man-made lake, so Michael can amuse himself with paintball guns and water pistols. Sounds a little childish for a 33-year-old millionaire, but that's the point. All this lavish richness is designed for Michael's most cherished guests, the ones between the ages of 6 and 11.
He would call me and says, Mark, please give them freedom. Don't say to them, don't do this, don't do that. Just give them freedom. I like the kids to enjoy themselves.
Michael's pals, Home Alone brat Macaulay Culkin, former TV star Emmanuel Lewis, the late AIDS hero Ryan White. Just about any child who wants to visit, but what do they do in there?
They would, like, jump up and down on the $8,000 sofas, and that was okay?
Oh, yes, and you know, it's funny, like, you'd see about 7 or 8 6-year-olds, you know, clinging around his pants, holding his pants, and saying, Michael, are you really rich?
But the children aren't the only ones being babied here in Neverland. The Quindoys say they'll never forget the day Elizabeth Taylor raced here after her near-fatal bout with pneumonia 2 years ago.
We were offering to serve her food at her guest suite because she just got out of the hospital. And she would say that she'd rather eat by the kitchen, and she would not want to inconvenience anyone. She eats everything, although she's in a diet.
But nothing topped the night Marlon Brando showed up during the greatest tragedy of his life. For 3 weeks, as his son was prosecuted for shooting his sister's boyfriend to death, Marlon Brando escaped the messenger of misery in Michael Jackson's Fantasyland.
He likes the egg white.
Only the egg white.
Only the egg white, no egg yolk.
Yes. A lot of egg whites.
But though Michael opens his door to so many friends, there is one person who is not welcome, his own sister, LaToya. After her tell-all book and Playboy spread, Michael banned LaToya from all family gatherings at the ranch.
And so far as I know, only LaToya has never been there to the ranch. Otherwise, all members of the family have been there.
Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad, brothers, their wives, their children.
Neverland, the place Michael Jackson can be himself.
He wants everything to look immaculate inside the ranch, except in his room when he tries to play games. You know, he just throws his underwear and whatever he wears, and he loves that, and the towels, and I think he's pretty much acting like a kid.
But there are times Michael leaves the cocoon. But instead of bodyguards, he's protected by disguises, and not the one of his sister Janet.
His favorite seems to be like an afro wig. He wears a set of false teeth. You know, that's so funny. Sometimes it protrudes out like they were like fangs. And I'd say to him, look, everybody knows you're Michael Jackson.
But one of the strangest close encounters occurred when Michael Jackson ran into some of his Santa Barbara neighbors wearing one of his most elaborate disguises.
He had a great big nose on and some sideburns, and the nose was so big that you didn't want to look at him.
Linda Martin and her sister Patricia Black had the good fortune of a flat tire because guess who stopped to fix it?
They were jiggling around in the tire, and one turned to the other, and he said, "Have you done this before?" And something went off in my head. It had to be Michael.
In 2 years working at the ranch, Michael always kept to himself. Mark and Faye Quindoy say they never got close to Michael.
He would look down every time he'd ask me a question and say, Mark, do you know what time dinner is at? And, you know, something like this all the time.
Mark and Faye left the ranch 6 months ago, before Michael ever really made eye contact. But they'll never forget what a special person their former employer is, or that time at 5 in the morning when the phone woke them out of a sound sleep and Michael was on the other end.
He just said that, oh, you know, Faye, I just want to tell you that I love Mike and you very much.
Doesn't he seem like just an enormously sweet, talented guy who needs to hang around with some normal people? Michael, call me, we'll get the neighbors, we'll play some touch football, we'll cook some burgers, we'll watch The Simpsons. Now,